What is up, everybody? Welcome into the show. You're watching Philadelphia Eagles Now. Chase Senior here with you, and we have another great show coming your way. We're going to take a look at the Eagles playoff picture and an updated look of what the Eagles have to do to get into the postseason, and is there a chance that Philadelphia could still get that number one seed in the NFC? So here's everything that we're discussing here on today's show. We'll look at the NFC playoff picture that is updated now. We'll take a gander at the Eagles' remaining schedule, the seed odds for where the Eagles might fall in the NFC, and the probabilities behind that. And can Philadelphia get home field advantage at Lincoln Financial Field? It's all coming your way, so sit back, relax, and let's talk some Eagles football right now. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and support us here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. Anytime I'm in front of a camera, on a microphone talking Eagles football, I want our content to be insightful, informative, entertaining, thought-provoking, and I want you to have a voice. We're 470 people away from 140,000 subscribers. Can we get there by Sunday's game? Eagles-Raiders, Week 15 at the link. Join the movement. Lock us in and hit that subscribe button right now. I do want to begin with some Eagles news, especially on the injury front going into this game against Las Vegas, and the Raiders have lost 8 games in a row. They're one of the worst teams in football. Philadelphia has to find a way to win this game, but look good in the process, because I need some style points, and I think the Eagles offense needs some style points as well. They need to get their confidence, their mojo, and their swagger back, but it might have to be without 2 of their top marquee offensive linemen. Today on this Thursday, December 11th, right tackle Lane Johnson not participating again. It's very rare that Eagles players who miss the first 2 practices of the week suit up on Sunday. The only player to do that, Devontae Smith, who played on that Black Friday against the Chicago Bears. And then Lane Johnson, on top of Landon Dickerson, he might not play either. Landon Dickerson, as we know, in that loss against the Chargers on Monday night, injured his calf. That's been the story for him all year. He simply can't stay on the field and healthy. And when he's been on the field, he hasn't been healthy, about 50%, and his play has suffered. For Lane Johnson, we know the massive impact that he has on this Eagles team. This guy is one of one. And I thought Cam Jurgens a few weeks ago said it best. Lane Johnson, pretty much, he said, is a bad mother effer. And we're never going to see another Lane Johnson ever again. A one-of-one player in the history of this organization. And the numbers certainly back that up. The play backs that up. The respect that he gets by his peers and from his peers certainly solidifies that too. But just look at how good the Eagles are with Lane Johnson compared to how they struggle without him. This year, with him not starting, Philadelphia 0-3. All-time with him, they are 120, 62, and 1. Ladies and gentlemen, this is stupid. That's a winning percentage of nearly 66% without Lane Johnson. They are 15 and 27 without him in the lineup. The winning percentage goes down from nearly 66% to just shy of 36%. What a special player. The good news out of all of this is that hopefully he can come back the following week against Washington, as Philadelphia will play the Commanders on Saturday. You look at the NFC playoff picture. Speaking of the Eagles playoff paths, scenarios, pathways, and all that, the Rams, number 1 seed at 10-3. The Green Bay Packers, the 2 seed at 9-3-1. Philadelphia continues to remain firm in that 3rd position despite losing 3 games in a row. And you can thank the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for that, because they've played some bad football over the last month and a half. They've been struggling, and now Carolina is threatening Tampa Bay to potentially lead the NFC South. And so even though Philadelphia 8-5, 3-game losing streak, seems like the sky is falling and the seams are falling apart, they're still in a really good spot. Of note, I'm recording this on Thursday afternoon, December 11th. The Buccaneers play on Thursday Night Football, so their record will change. But they do have to play the Panthers 2 times in the final 3 weeks of the season, and that will determine who wins the NFC South crown. The 3 wildcard teams right now: Seahawks, the 5 seed at 10-3, The 49ers, the 6th seed at 9-4. That's who the Eagles would play if the postseason were to start right now. And then the Chicago Bears, that 7th position at 9-4. Other teams to be wary of: Detroit Lions, 8-5. Carolina, 7-6. Although I think the only way they get in is if they win their division. And then the pesky Dallas Cowboys, still alive because of the Eagles falling apart, at 6-1. Speaking of those Cowboys, Philadelphia, 4 games left, game and a half lead. And we'll get to the magic number here in a moment, but the Eagles right now 8-5. The Cowboys 6-1. I thought the Eagles got a gift from Dallas when the Cowboys lost in a classic big game against the Lions last Thursday. But the Eagles couldn't take care of business, and they lost in heartbreaking fashion on Monday against the Chargers. Don't worry about the Commanders. Don't worry about the Giants. It's beautiful to see them struggling so bad in the basement of the division. The Eagles' remaining schedule here, 4 games left, and they have one of the easiest schedules left among all teams in the NFL. They host the Raiders. They go on the road to play the Commanders in Maryland on Saturday. Hard game on the road against the Buffalo Bills. Then they round out Week 18 at home against Washington again for the second time in 3 weeks. The Cowboys' remaining schedule, they had that hard game against Detroit. Dallas pretty much needs to win out here, all right? They have the Vikings on Sunday Night Football, Minnesota coming off a win. Then they host the Chargers at home. That'll be a huge game for both teams. Then Dallas goes on the road to play the Commanders on Christmas. It feels as though Dallas always loses at least one time a year to Washington. Let's go Commanders in that game. And then Mike Kafka's going to be coaching for his job. A lot of players going to be playing for their jobs with the new head coach coming in with the Giants, if it's not Mike Kafka. And so the Giants will have something to play for. They'd love to play spoiler and take down Dallas the final week of the season. Odds to win the NFC East for the Birds, 91% chance. For the Cowboys, a 9% chance to win this division. As we know, there has not been a repeat divisional winner in the NFC East since all the way back in 2004 when the Eagles last did it. If Dallas wins the division, we're talking about a Philadelphia Eagles collapse here in 2025 that I think would be worse than the Eagles collapse in 2023. Offensively, I think the personnel and the coaching is better this year than in 2023, and that's saying something because none of us want to see Kevin Patullo calling this offense. But on defense, this Eagles unit rivals the defense from last year as far as talent goes, and that was a defense a year ago that won the Super Bowl and was the #1 overall defense in the sport. There was also a lack of continuity at the coordinator spots in 2023. The 2023 team did not have Vic Fangio with all these great young players. This team does, which is why it would be inexcusable for Philadelphia to choke this divisional lead away after they started the year 8-2. It seems like Eagles owner Jeffrey Lurie isn't concerned about that. He's got confidence in his team. So too does Jordan Davis, who said this week on Wednesday he feels like this Eagles offense is getting close to turning it around. Jeffrey Lurie on the 2023 to 2025 comparisons, absolute opposite. We have a Super Bowl defense and great special teams. Our offense will get it going. I'm not worried at all. I love that from Lurie. And hopefully the Eagles can kick it into gear the final 4 weeks of the season. The Eagles' magic number to win the NFC East, 3. Those are Eagles wins combined with Cowboys losses. And beating the Raiders on Sunday, a big first step in that magic number of 3 and reaching that number. According to Tankathon, the Eagles have the 3rd easiest schedule remaining in the NFL among the 32 teams. And as we know, in the lead up to this game against the Raiders, it has been a gauntlet of a schedule, maybe even harder than the 2023 schedule, where there was that gauntlet, which broke the Eagles. As far as the Eagles seeding odds, they only have a 1% chance of getting the #1 seed. And we'll break that down coming up here in a moment, how the Eagles can accomplish that. It's not as crazy as what the percentages point out. 2 seed chances, 9%. 3 seed, where they're at right now, 70%. 4 seed, that wouldn't be good. 14%. 5 to 7 seed, meaning a wild card spot, a less than 1% chance, because the odds makers and all of the math heads think that the Eagles are going to win the NFC East. At least the numbers certainly back that up. So what is the pathway for the Eagles to still get the number 1 seed in this conference? That's coming up just around the corner. But first, today's Philadelphia Eagles Now, sponsored by our friends at Ridge Wallet. The Ridge Wallet 2.0 has been a game changer for me. Improved cash straps. I love how modular, durable, slim, and modern this design is. I have the carbon fiber edition, and I used to have a big, fat, crusty leather wallet. And while we all love the smell of leather, the wallet became impractical, and it became a nuisance. I'm somebody who hates having too much in my pockets, and that's what was happening to me. With the Ridge Wallet 2.0, you can fit up to 12 cards plus cash inside the Ridge Wallet 2.0, and Ridge has been perfecting this over the last several years. 12 years, in fact. It's 10% lighter. Every gram matters. They found the perfect balance. They made it more modular with improved cash straps, money clips, and the AirTag attachments. Also improved surface design. And this is made with premium materials like aluminum, titanium, carbon fiber. This is the last wallet you'll ever have to get. 12 cards plus cash. Over 50 plus colors and styles to choose from, including a Philadelphia Eagles themed wallet. You can also get every NFL, Major League Baseball, or college team. How cool is this? Perfect for holiday gifting, especially since Ridge is having their biggest sale of the year right now. What is that sale, Chase? I got you, Bird Gang and real ones. For a limited time, Ridge is having their huge holiday sale. Head to ridge.com/chat. That's ridge.com/chat. Get up to 47% off your order. This is by far their biggest discount they've given all year. That's ridge.com/chat for up to 47% off your order during their biggest sale of the year. After you make your purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that Philadelphia Eagles Now sent you. All right, let's get into this. Yes, the Philadelphia Eagles have lost 3 games in a row, but they still have an opportunity to somehow get the number 1 seed in the NFC. Here is how. The Eagles need to finish 4-0 against the Raiders at home, on the road against the Commanders and Bills, and then against the Commanders at the Link. The Rams are 10-3. Los Angeles has to finish 2-2. If both teams are 12-5, Eagles have the tiebreaker from that Week 3 win. The Seahawks right now, 10-3. They have to finish 1-3. A 12-5 tie would give favor to Seattle because they would have the better NFC record. The Packers are 9-3-1. They have to finish 2-2. Eagles have the tiebreaker. The Packers coming up on the road against the Broncos and Bears. The Niners at 9-4 right now have to finish 2-2. 12-5 likely favors the Niners. And with the Bears being 9-4 and having beat the Eagles on Black Friday, they must finish 2-2 because a 12-5 tie favors the Bears. As for the Lions at 8-5, they could win out, but the Eagles would own the tiebreaker because of that win on Sunday night a few weeks ago. That is how Philadelphia can get that number 1 seed. Honestly, we've seen crazier things happen, right? The Rams remaining schedule, Lions and Seahawks coming up. It's not easy, right? So they could drop those 2 games. Boom. There you go. Then they're on the road against the Falcons, home against the Cardinals. The Seahawks remaining schedule, they've got Colts, Rams, Panthers, Niners. Not an easy slate for Seattle either. Packers remaining schedule, this is maybe the hardest across the NFL just by looking at the schedule here. On the road against the Broncos and Bears, home against the Ravens, Baltimore fighting for their playoff hopes, and then on the road against Minnesota. Hostile environment, NFC North game. The Niners remaining schedule made a little bit easier because it looks like Phillip Rivers at 44 is going to start that game for Indy. And the Niners have the Titans coming off the bye on the road against Indy. But then they're home against the Bears and the Seahawks. The Bears remaining schedule. Browns at home. Packers at home. On the road against the Niners. Home against the Lions. I mean, would it shock you if Chicago lost out? Or at least lost 3 of 4? And then the Lions remaining schedule. Week 15, on the road against the Rams. Week 16, home against the Steelers. Week 17, on the road against Minnesota. Week 18, on the road against the Bears. Now, Some of these teams are playing one another, so it would require some of those teams to maybe perhaps drop another game, but that's the pathway right there. Don't forget to give me a follow on social media. You can find me on X, Instagram, and TikTok at Chase_Senior. Just started the TikTok page a couple of weeks ago, already closing in on nearly 4,000 followers. Really appreciate all of you.